you said at the beginning of the program that when it came to her musical instruments, our next guest was rusty.
Absolutely.
Is that a nice thing to say about someone?
It sure is, and Cheryl Mazyk would completely agree with that statement. You see, in the capital area, her rusty compositions are in big demand. Cheryl Mazyk is inspired by stringed instruments, violins, violas, cellos. She loves them all. Their sound, their structure, their power to stir our souls. So you might wonder what moves Cheryl, a one-time apprentice to a violin maker, to gleefully break these instruments into pieces.
I've always loved the arts, you know. I've always been drawn to everything artistic. Music for me is life. Combining the two, visual art and music, for me it's been a really amazing journey.
Her journey began in London, Ontario. A registered massage therapist, she came to Ottawa 9 years ago with $50 in her pocket and a dream to be part of the capital's vibrant arts community.
I was very dramatic, and I wanted, you know, the opera, I wanted the ballet, I wanted culture, and I wanted to come here, and I thought Ottawa was a good city for that.
She became a self-taught multimedia artist, a composer of sorts, blending bodies, necks, scrolls, strings, plaster, and paint to produce a symphony for the eyes.
It suddenly occurred to me that I had a violin at home that I wasn't playing, that wasn't actually a very good violin, and it really wasn't worth a lot of repair. So I thought, wouldn't it be great to have a relief of a violin? And from there it just went crazy, and then people started giving me violins from their workshops or their garage, or, you know, people would go to garage sales or auctions and find these really cheap, broken up violins, and I would just break them up more and put them in my art.
At first she made just a few. Affordable art for her own walls at home.
My friends would come over and say, Cheryl, you know, this is really neat, you should do more of this. So I started making more, and one day I just walked into this little coffee shop, and I happened to have a piece of art with me. I just saw the owner there and said, hey, would you be interested in, you know, putting this up? And he just said, how about in 2 weeks? Where I panicked.
Soon, panic gave way to amazement. Her musical artwork struck a chord with those who saw it.
It was amazing to me, the reaction. People love stringed instruments. It doesn't matter, it can be a violin, a viola, a cello, a bass, you know, people just love them.
To date, Cheryl has crafted some 200 pieces, many of them commissions.
What I do for some of my commissions, it's a really popular thing right now that people like my plaster casts of the instruments. So what I do is I use actual casting fabric with the plaster, and I lay it inside of a mold, of a plaster mold, and make a cast of a violin or a cello. And then after the relief is made, I attach it to the canvas and start the process of putting on the ground iron. I use that to coat the entire thing, the canvas and the parts and the words, if I use words.
And why ground iron?
Because it rusts, and that's the colors I want in my art. And you know, a lot of people will ask me. They'll say, Cheryl, what do you paint with? How do you get those colors to look so much like rust? I'm like, no, it's rust.
For some, rust is a visible symbol of decay, aging, the beginning of the end. Not Cheryl.
I love rust. I love rust. I take pictures of rust. I see rust. And, you know, I was walking down the street one day and my friend thought I was absolutely nuts because I'm walking down the street and I see this big rusted metal thing on the side of the road, and I just became so thoughtful about it, and I said, "Oh, isn't that beautiful?" And he just looked at me and walked away like, "Oh, Cheryl."
Using an acid-based solution and other techniques Cheryl's developed, the painting takes on texture and layers. The rust helps complete Cheryl's artistic circle. On her canvas, old and new share the stage, perform as one.
Basically, it's like taking something old, the violins, and making it new by putting it into art, and then rusting it, making it old again.
And like all great performers, Cheryl and her pieces have fans who applaud their creative brilliance. Several paintings hang in the rehearsal studio of the National Arts Centre Orchestra's music director, Pinka Zukerman, and principal cellist, Amanda Forsyth.
And when a couple of the most brilliant musicians in the world think that your art is something they want to put on their wall, you know, when they're probably so sick and tired of seeing violins and cellos all the time everywhere they go. I mean, that's just my, you know, I would think that they see so much of it, you know, and to have their support and want to put this on their wall, to me, it's just, it's a really huge honor.
When not watching her paintings rust, Cheryl is making people shine.
Okay, great. Perfect. Good spot.
She's become an avid photographer.
I take pictures and Photoshop pictures for hours every day, so it's become a really big passion. My photography covers the human aspect for me. You know, I want it to say that this is what people look like when they're just being who they are. I can't stop doing it. I work on photos for several times a day, and if I don't have any models available, I'll just photograph myself. All right, perfect. I'm just going to get...
Currently, Cheryl's on assignment for Amnesty International at the University of Ottawa, capturing images for a project called A Million Faces. Though only working in this medium for about a year, Cheryl is making great strides. Some of her photographs are to be featured in a soon-to-be-released book.
There's a new book coming out, put out by Wiley Publishers, and it's written by this incredibly, amazingly talented woman. She's a photographer and a writer, Catherine Jameson, and she's Canadian. She's based out of Winnipeg. And yeah, some of my portrait photography it's making the cut. It's going into the book, so I'm really, really excited.
While passionate about her work with the camera, Cheryl can't see herself walking away from her rusty creations anytime soon, especially since she just had her hair done to complement them.
My colorist at Ronaldo's did a fabulous job of matching my hair to my paintings.
But dreams come in many colors besides rust, and Cheryl sees many rainbows ahead. Whatever the future brings will be music to her ears, and she looks forward to composing the score.
I think that the main thing that I've learned in Ottawa is that if you want to do something, you just have to do it. I mean, it's all there. You can do anything you want. You just have to go ahead and do it. But you have to be dedicated, you know, and you can do anything you want.
You've worked hard?
Very hard, yeah, yeah.
You excited about your future?
Yeah, I am actually. Yeah, it's looking good. It's, you know, a lot of promising things are happening right now, and it feels like the hard work is starting to take effect.
And is there still a bit of mystery about what's to come, and do you like that?
Oh yeah, for sure. My life changes every day. You know, so it's just, I never know the next day what's going to happen. But I do know that I'll have my art and my photography. That's good.
And a happy heart.
Yes, very. Yeah, I've been very lucky.
Well, Cheryl's artwork may be rusty, but she is anything but. And I love how her hair actually matches her art.
Proof that she does indeed have a head for beautiful artwork and photography. We had so much fun together. And Cheryl, keep on practicing. We want you to stay rusty forever.